Am I the asshole for coming home early from meeting boyfriend's parents? My boyfriend and I went to see his parents for the first time this weekend. It's Canadian Thanksgiving. We were supposed to stay sun and fly back afternoon Monday. I'm writing this sun night already back in my own bed. My boyfriend's parents greeted us at the airport and brought us home. They then proceeded to ask me if I had drugs in my bag, and I was pretty shocked because who asks that? I said only Tylenol, and they nodded and showed us to our rooms, which meant I got the guest room and my boyfriend was to sleep in his old room. His parents were serving dinner, and during dinner I was asked to pay for my portion of the Thanksgiving dinner, $30. I was pretty shocked and angry because who does that? I've never been asked to pay for someone's ingredient fees when a guest at their place. I didn't answer and then confronted my boyfriend in his room and asked why I was asked to pay. He just says it's something they ask of their friends as well. When they have a barbecue, they ask people to pay their portion. Honestly, I'm shocked they have friends. I reminded him he has eaten at my parents' place dozens of times and was never asked to pay. He claimed if they asked he would have, but they never did. Because it's rude to do that to a guest. But his mom came and got me and escorted me to my room. I was fuming and looking for tickets home and texted my boyfriend to say I was going home tomorrow. He called me and begged me to stay, saying his family already don't like me for not agreeing to pay for dinner and I'm just making it worse. I ignored him and rebooked an early flight, which was very expensive, and got a cab to the airport in the morning. I told my friends this, who had confirmed they've never been asked to pay for a meal while they were a guest. And if they were struggling, why even invite me over? Is this normal practice? Their house was pretty big, I don't think it was a money thing for them. Hoo boy, not the asshole. Congratulations, original poster. You have received a rare and golden opportunity to view what your future with this man will look like. Don't take it lightly. Exactly, she will be forever getting billed for every family get-together. Shocked they didn't bill her for her room for the night as well. It's one thing to ask guests to contribute to the meal, or in my country to bring a plate, but to ask at the dinner table is just so weird. And for him to not say a word either before they left is just worse. How awful to be meeting the parents for the first time and all they want is to make sure you aren't packing drugs and to charge you for your food. All I can say is better to find out now so you can run for the hills and never marry into this family. Not the asshole, but your boyfriend and his family are. Imagine if she had kids with him and this dude's parents decided to set up their own nursery or some shit, and then handed her the bill for it. I once went on an outing with my odd cousin, aunt and uncle. During the outing, they asked some questions that even at 8 I recognized as rude and judgmental of my parents' parenting style. When they dropped me off, they gave my parents an itemized bill and asked for immediate payment. My parents were flabbergasted, but paid, and that was the last time I saw that part of the family. That's the dynamic original poster can look forward to being a part of if she sticks around. Not the asshole. At all. Run. When I was 9, I was invited on an overnight trip with my friend and her parents to see an NBA game. My parents sent me with money to get a souvenir, like a t-shirt or something. My friend's parents confiscated my money as soon as we hit the road for gas, lodging, tickets and food. I had nothing left. My mom was furious when I got home and told her because she had already given them money to take me. Who steals from a 9-year-old? Man, people suick. I was 15, my parents went out of town for my dad having a job interview. I stayed at my best friend's house for a week. I slept in the second bed in her room, and my friend's parents refused all payment from mine for food and gas taking me to and from school. For that week and ever since then, I've been part of their family. Because I'm their kid's best friend. They send me birthday and Christmas cards, they sent me flowers when I lost my grandfather, they sent a box of Chockies when I got a job promotion. They treated me like I was their kid. Because they knew my parents would have loved on my bestie and treated her like their kid too if the situation were reversed. Not the asshole, that is weird. But it's also weird that boyfriend didn't warn you. Does he seriously think this is a normal way for guests to be treated in someone's home? This can't have been his first foray in bringing a girl home for dinner. Or maybe it was. Maybe after the third or fourth one, he'll stop bringing girlfriends home. After reading many of the posts on this sub, I think it's more likely he'll end up finding a girl with low self-esteem and no boundaries who will bend over backwards in these situations instead. Not the asshole. Just start over with a different boy. This one's family already broke him. Apparently the boyfriend is brainwashed. Original poster should send him this link to read the comments, maybe he'll wake up someday. Why didn't he warn you? And what was the drugs question? Why didn't he pay for you? So many questions, not the asshole. Greater than why didn't he pay for you? That was my first thought. He's eaten with her family for many meals, he could have warned her about his family's strange notion of an invitation, and b, paid for her if that's the way they are. Honestly, it sounds so ridiculous I'm almost flipped over to the he wants to break up and his parents are in on it side. And if so, that is some next level avoidant childishness. Not the asshole, it likely has nothing to do with money. It has more to do with them being weird assholes. I have been invited to the home of friends who are poor. Think. Each parent has 2 jobs. Never once have they asked me to pay. They are gracious, generous, and kind. It would have embarrassed them to ask for money. We didn't eat steak, but we ate delicious, nutritious food. I brought wine and dessert. I've never heard of such a thing. But I have little experience with Canadian customs. Somehow I don't think Canadians are ungracious louts. This is not a Canada thing, this is a weird cheapskate asshole thing to do. They have a big house because they're frugal, to the point of idiocy. I am Canadian, been here 40 years and have never heard of people doing this. Not the asshole enjoy being single. Imagine having to deal with this fucking garbage for the entirety of a marriage? Nope. Leave Canada, please. Not original poster, the parents. Original poster can visit anytime smiley face. Not the asshole. Did they pay for your transportation fee to get there? Were you two definitely invited? I am shocked that your boyfriend didn't warn you. FYI, my parents are hostile, judgy, and will charge you for the holiday supper we are flying in to enjoy with them. Seriously, if this is how they always treat guests, then why wouldn't he have warned his partner? Or better yet, why didn't he just give his parents the $30? This is crazy BTW. Who charges their guests? Not the asshole. It's pretty offensive to ask someone staying in your house to pay for Thanksgiving dinner. Very unusual. Your boyfriend is used to this behavior, so in reality if there is an asshole in this situation, it's your boyfriend. He could easily have said, hey, my parents are weird. When they ask you for money, give them this $20 or whatever. It's kinda a tradition. Or he could have given her money in advance that she could have given them. He definitely should have given her a heads up though. The comment you're replying to said that. Give them this $20. 'Cause yeah, he should be paying for it. Another Canadian here. This is definitely not common. And the drugs question was super rude. You're definitely not the asshole and good on you for leaving. We just did our turkey dinner with over a dozen people and not a soul was required to have paid for it as we invited them. This is not a Canadian thing at all. BF's parents are weirdos. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Asking you to pay for your food is incredibly rude. Your boyfriend should have warned you if only so you could have known to bring the money. I suspect he didn't because he knows you wouldn't have gone. Asking for money for food is tacky, but asking if you had drugs is a deal breaker. No one has to stay in a situation where they have been insulted. I think you handled the situation perfectly. You weren't rude back. Who cares if they don't like you? I don't like them, and I've never met them. And I love the bit where she was escorted from boyfriend room. They weren't even allowed to have a private conversation. Makes me wonder how old they are, 'cause they're treated like 14-year-olds. I know, there's so much here to unpack. Just not her suitcase. Not the asshole. I'd say find some other Canadians and poll them about the pay-to-eat practice. I've never heard of it, but I'm not Canadian. And as others have stated, you don't want to participate in this family dynamic. Move on while you still can. It's not common, neither me nor any of my friends have ever heard of it. And being from Newfoundland originally, it would practically be a crime there to ask a guest to pay. I've seen come from away, my Newfie knowledge, and based on that, a crime indeed. I've never heard of being asked to pay for ingredients, unless it's aforementioned and agreed upon. Not the asshole, but are you with the Canadian version of my family? My grandmother did the same to my mother. I can't believe this has happened more than once. Be careful with your boyfriend's family. If they behave like mine, you will get called an added piece, and treating like shit. Put boundaries now, because if you don't do it, any time you pass time with them will be hell. I have some slight problems with my paternal family and their treatment of my mother. Honestly, if he isn't an ex, now he soon will be. There's no way that relationship is gonna survive boyfriend's ahishness. In ta, your boyfriend should have warned you about that and paid for you. Also, drug question, personally coming to escort you and asking for money makes them rude in my book. Not the asshole separated rooms and you had to pay? I think it was not her parents, she brought you to a hostel. Not the asshole. What on earth? I've never heard of this. Your boyfriend should have warned you up front if there was a cover charge for Thanksgiving. This is absolutely not a Canadian practice. These people are unhinged. Not the asshole. Not sure how long you've been together, but take this as a huge red flag. Not just for his parents expecting you to pay for your portion, but for him not explaining this to you in advance. And don't even get me started on the drugs question.